that particular day, the rooster came out, and I don't know if to say fortunately or to say unfortunately, but either ways, it happened that I was posted to the chest ward and chest unit. Chest unit is a place where patients with tuberculosis and patients with diseases like AIDS, of course, majorly patients with tuberculosis, and when someone has AIDS, HIV/AIDS, the person's immune system is quite low, and the person can, in fact, there is 99.9% probability that the person will definitely go down with tuberculosis. So when an AIDS patient goes down with tuberculosis, we move them to the chest unit, right? So that was the whole thing, and that was my first time managing an AIDS patient. It might interest you to know what happened. Follow me. Hi everyone, I am Kamsiyo Nneoma, and this is Sexuality and Health Wellness, where we leave no crumbs behind. So far, the matter, the issue, the case is existing. We talk about it here. All right, you might want to join the moving train because we're getting bigger. Okay, so I'm just going to give you guys highlights and how this thing works. And I am not telling this story just for telling sake. I am telling this story because I want us to see the importance of certain things. Now, you might be asking, okay, there is a drug that sustains someone with HIV/AIDS to a particular point in time. Why is it that people still leave the whole thing until it gets to that end stage, which is AIDS? That stage where you cannot even do anything about it, where your drugs cannot do anything about it. Why do people have to live? I'm going to tell you the reason why this patient of mine left himself that way and get to that end stage, right? Okay, so this young man, I have to be very honest. I mean, I have eyes for good things. So when I saw the young man, I was like, this man is fine or low. Like, he was actually lame, the whole AIDS symptoms was telling on him, but I have to tell you guys the truth. The guy was fine. This guy was, oh my god, handsome. So I stood there, I watched the guy. I came the first day, like when I saw that, okay, I was posted to this unit. I came the first day and I was looking at this guy like, hey, is he fine man, sha? On top bed, lean, suffering. I said, hey, I said okay. So I began to read his folder. I found out that, okay, man, this guy is really, really deteriorating and nothing can be done about this. We are just nursing him to his death. Okay, we are nursing him to his death. It might be interesting to know that nursing is not just for you to retain a life. Nursing can also be for you to give someone a peaceful death. So we're nursing him to a peaceful death. Okay, so in the case of this young man, right? So we're nursing him to his peaceful death, and that moment he was already bedridden. He was so lean. There is only one place in his body that was not lean. That's the stomach. The stomach was actually bloated. He was lean, but his stomach was bloated. So I found out that he's already down with liver issues, and apart from that, he has tuberculosis, and funny enough, he has skin cancer, Kaposi sarcoma. So his skin does not have that integrity it should have anymore. So I found that there were lesions on his body, that's ulcers, skin ulcers, ulcers on his skin, yeah, ulcers on his skin, and those ulcers were actually bringing out pus, like draining, bringing out fluid, mucus, and all that. So did I say mucus? It was bringing out fluid and all that. So I was like, hey, my God, what kind of, and that was on a Christmas, like that was on the December, like this. I mean, I think that's the reason why I'm even sharing it with you all. That was December like this, and I was like, hey, is this how I'll spend my Christmas? Is this how I'll spend my Christmas, managing an AIDS patient? Lord, please give me strength, because I don't know, and that was my first time managing an AIDS patient. So I was like, Lord, please give me strength, give me strength. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. It's so bad. So, but I had to do it. I mean, you have to do what you gotta do. So I was like, okay, I have strength. I have all it takes to do this. Yes, so help me God, so help me God. So we started managing the patients with the help of another nurse, right? We started managing this patient. So that fateful day, it was on a Wednesday. I'm very sure. So I was on night duty actually, but it was on a Wednesday. morning slash afternoon. So the guy was actually going down, like each passing day, the guy was actually going down each passing day, honestly. So because we find out that sometimes he's breathing, he takes in air, then it takes time for him to exhale. It's like when someone, you just stay like that for a long time and then you exhale. Then you stay like that for another long time, then you inhale. So that was how his breathing was like, and that was a clear sign that he was actually leaving us, like he was actually, crossing over to the other side. So we saw all these signs, but you know you don't just have to keep putting out the bad news out there. So we just had to encourage the parent, the mom, to keep taking care of him. It was so it was at that point, it was at a particular point that we found out that the mother does not even know what this young man was suffering from. The mom never knew that this son of mine has it, and he is here because when he had HIV and knew that he had HIV, he never went to take drugs. He never took drugs that could keep his CD4 cells up high and sustain him for a very long time before he dies off, right? You know, when you are taking those drugs, it's meant to keep you for a very long time. In fact, till you are old enough to actually die, right? So you're not gonna pass through the whole suffering, getting lean, getting skinny, looking like skeleton, and all that. So the mother never knew. So we had to excuse the mother. Please, can you want to speak to your son? The mom was like, sure. So we began to engage the guy in a discussion. Team of nurses, man, it was a hard one. So we're like, man, we know that this is what is happening to you, but your mom does not know yet. Why don't you want to tell her? I mean, it's obvious we know, if even you know that you're gonna die very soon. Why don't you tell this woman that this is the reason why you are this way? So she would not, because the mom kept assuming that my village people are after me, and she kept praying every night. She kept praying every morning. She kept following up prayers online. I mean, I could literally hear her radio every morning, hear her calling pastors, pray for my son, and they keep kabashing and rabashing and all that. And I was like, ha. So this woman does not know that it is AIDS that is doing you. Like, you're suffering from AIDS and you're in the end stage actually, and we cannot do anything to help anymore. Like, no drug can do anything. Well, miracle can happen, but no drug can do anything to help you at this point in time. This woman does not know. We kept begging this young man, okay, you need to tell your mom. Like, you really need to tell this woman that this is what is happening. We don't want a situation whereby you exit the world and then she thinks that she has some enemies that have, put you in this position where you were, and maybe she begins to think that this person can be the enemy, that person can be the enemy, being paranoid and all that. So it was a long persuasion. Even a nurse that knows the mom, like knows the mom so well, had to come, ask the guy. He said, my dear, I know your mom, but because I respect and I would love to respect your decision, that is the reason why I won't tell her. And of course, because of our ethics, right? So the woman began to speak to him and all that. With the last strength this guy had, he said, okay, that he would tell the woman. So he went ahead to tell the mom. The mom was so shocked. The mom was like, what? It's not possible. I know my son. I know. It was full of drama, honestly. So eventually the guy had to tell the mom, see what is happening. This is the reason why I am this way. And I was afraid that if I go out there to, if I, register with a hospital taking drugs, that someone might find out, and I don't know how it's going to end up. I don't know how people are going to see it and all that. So I don't want people to find out. I didn't want to, all those flimsy nonsense excuses. I mean, so the mom was like dumbfounded. The mom was just crying throughout. And funny enough, the guy died that night. And Siba, don't ask me how it was doing last office for this young man, because it was hell for me, Pedro, on a December, on a Christmas like this. Jesus. I was crying. And I was like, Lord, why now? Why? So we had to do last office for him, and It was really awful. And at that moment, even before the guy died, the guy was already smelling like the guy was smelling like bad odor. So why did I share this story? Like I said, I didn't just want to tell stories. If it's about story, I have lots of stories. What's happening in the clinical section and all that. I have lots of them, at my fingertips. But that's not the reason why I didn't just wake up and say I want to tell stories. No, I told this particular story because sometimes we are in the heat of the moment, right? Your oxytocin is at its peak, your testosterone is at its peak, and you don't even want to hear anything. You just want to go down with this person. And I know this season is one of those seasons when you want to go down with that young man that looks handsome, that has this nice pattern of hair lined up, and his jaw, his beard looking cool and nice. This is that season where you see a lady that is wearing that body hug tight gown without bras, without pants, shaking her booties, shaking her boobie. Yes. And I just want to let you know that in case you want to go down with any of them, when you picture them, beside them, picture AIDS. Beside them, picture hepatitis B. Beside them, picture hepatitis C. Yeah? Beside them, just picture all these things. When you're done picturing all these things, picture gonorrhea. Don't forget to picture syphilis. And don't forget to picture yeast infection, chlamydia infection. Picture all these things. When you're done, then just weigh the two options. Should you or should you not? Okay? I know people that used condoms and the lady is pregnant really. So to an extent, your relationship can actually affect the condom you want to use. So in case you want to go down with anybody, like you're trying to hold yourself, but you're that self it wasn't there. It didn't hold. Your body was too heavy to hold, and you just want to let me have it. No problem, you can have it. But when you're having it, please, I beg you. I don't know how you're going to do it though. But anyhow you're going to protect yourself and make sure that you're protected. Please protect yourself. This is so that you will not end up like some other people that ended up the way they ended up. And of course, you will not end up with a baby you never planned on ending up with, right? Alright. This is Christmas. Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year. I love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas celebration. Mwah.